All right. Okay. So this is Girl Talk with Lori Dawson, the first woman in the field of VoxxLife, and my name is Krista Taylor. And we are here today with the women of Vox to talk about events and planning events and connecting in your community. We see a lot of things, especially people coming into this big event happening, and wow, how do I do that? Well, we didn't start there. The people that are hosting those events, that's not where we started. We didn't start with these massive things. And move forward from there. We started at a grassroots level. So I want to talk about that. We've got some great folks here, and I want to get some discussion going. I know there's a lot of questions, a lot of enthusiasm for people that spread out. Maybe they're the beginning seeds in their community or in their area of the globe. And they're trying to figure it out. And we know how you feel. A lot of us were that person at one time. You know, I remember Jay saying to me one time, "You're the only rep in Toronto. Like, how can you be the only rep in Toronto?" And I was like, I know. So, you know, we are.
No pressure.
Yeah, exactly. No pressure. We are in business for ourselves. The decisions you make are yours. But success leaves clues. So we want you to know that you're not here by yourself. This is the point of this format, to discuss and talk and learn from each other and see how it goes. So I wonder if we could start with some stories about first grassroots steps. Are there any people on here that have had, like, tell us about your grassroots steps? Where did you start with bringing people together in your world? Yes, baby. Tell me.
Because my first event was an utter disaster.
Yes, sister. Let's talk about it.
Yay!
Yeah.
So,
sorry, guys. Can everybody just mute themselves? Just so we can. I want to be able to hear this, and I want the people listening to the recording to be able to hear Anna's story.
So I got baby bird pushed out of the nest and was told to put together an event, and Terry St. Amman would come support me. And so he was going to be down in Florida, so I planned an event around that, and he kind of guided me through it, talked me through what to do. I rented a space at a Holiday Inn. I sent out invites. I had somebody that was supposed to be helping me but really didn't do much. The hotel calls me the day before and says, "Your space is under construction, so I don't have room for you."
And Terry's flying down.
Okay.
Awesome. And I'm like, okay. Now what do I do? And they're like, "Well, we can put you in the breakfast nook."
Yeah.
The breakfast nook. Okay. I have no idea if anybody's even going to show up to this thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I have no idea. So I'm like, okay. And Terry kept telling me, he's like, "I don't care if there are 4 people there. Like, I don't care. It doesn't matter." I'm like, but you're driving all this way, and there has to be more than 4 people there. And now I don't have a space. So they literally put me in, like, the continental breakfast area in the hotel. We set up chairs. We kind of moved the tables. I did have, like, a projector screen they put up for me. And I had bought a little cheap projector. Didn't have the foresight to know that I was going to need a speaker to amplify the speaker from the projector. So everybody, the whole time I'm trying to play a video, they're like, "Can you turn it up? Can you turn it up? Can you turn it up?" No, I can't, as a matter of fact. And we can't turn off the lights in the breakfast nook because it turns out the entire lobby. Right. Yeah. So that was my first thing.
Good job.
I had 21 people there. I had 3 guests. Awesome. And so that was my first event. So I felt like a lot that could go wrong did go wrong, and then some. And I put on the one of the success celebration events and had 100 people there.
Yeah.
So it's just a learning process, and you just have to do it. And then I moved to Indiana, and I tried to put on an event, and I had 12 people there.
That's pretty good.
So
That is good.
yeah, I mean, it's a process, and you just have to wing it and say whatever happens, happens. And if you reach one person, you reach one person. That's great.
I always think the people who are meant to be there and who really want to be there will be there. And so just focus on those people and don't worry about the ones, you know, the other invites you sent out that nobody responded, nobody replied. It's a stupid game and you mess your head up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't say that again, Terry. That's important. It's not, don't mess it up in your head.
Yeah, the ones that didn't show up, don't focus on who didn't come. Just direct your attention to the ones who did come because they were meant to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't drag people to events.
Right.
No.
There's nothing.
You know, and at this point as guests, they don't have an invested interest in it yet. So it's so easy to say, yeah, I'll come. And then 5 or 6 other better offers come up for that day. And they're like squirrel gone, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
Yes.
you can't focus on that. The unfortunate part is when there's an outlay of cash based on a larger number, and then you're left holding the bag. You have to be very mindful of that.
So
when my room was under destruction and I ended up in the breakfast nook, I didn't have to pay for the space. So
thank God.
Blessing.
See, that was the blessing.
Yeah.
There you go. So I want to talk about that in a few minutes. I want to talk about being mindful of the money when you're planning events. It's very important. What were you going to say, Lori?
Just the fact that if it goes from a big event to a smaller event, now you've got intimacy.
Yes.
So that's true of even going to vendor events. If it's not a busy, then you go talk to vendors because there's people and what we have is for everybody. So, you know, just that word Terry likes to use, and actually I like it right now because it's not overdone yet. But pivot, right? In the moment. So you've got an intimate group, let them talk, start that relationship building then and there.
So that's a huge piece. Ask yourself this, okay? When you're thinking about events and building events, what is it ideally that you want? Like, think about yourself. Would you walk into an event with 100 people and be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to ask every question I have in this event with all of these people here. I'm going to figure out everything I need to be successful in my business. I'm going to sign up. I'm going to buy all my stuff and I'm going to leave and it's going to be awesome. Like, do you think that's going to happen in the event?
No.
It's never like, I mean, if it does, well, by all means, go for it. But it, like, no, in my opinion, an event is to spark a conversation, right? It's to get other
you want the people to experience what the community or the bulk of the people would be like, so that in future when they're bringing guests, they feel comfortable in knowing what it feels like, what goes on there, that it's not a pressure cooker.
Yeah, exactly. So if you find yourself in a situation where you have just a handful of people, as Lori says, at a vendor show or at an opportunity event or at a training event, if you only have a handful of people, consider yourself lucky. Isn't that the ultimate goal, to be having an intimate conversation with people about Vox?
Yes, absolutely. That's true. Yep.
If that is the goal and the universe decides to eliminate all the clutter and just let you focus on the people that are really interested, take it.
Yes. Yep. Yep. It's a honey pitch. Swing at it.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So let's talk about how, when you feel like you're in a silo, when you feel like everybody from Vox is there, because believe me, every person in Vox, especially Lori, but every person in Vox at some point has felt like they were all alone. Unless you came into this with a group of friends, which is very fortunate for you, very, very fortunate. If you came in, as most of us did, knowing maybe one person, maybe 2 or 3 people, maybe no one, how did you connect with people that are in Vox already? Because we talk a lot about connecting with customers and building your team, blah, blah, blah. But what about getting support from the people that are already on the same mission as you? How did you make those connections?
Yeah, that happened with me because I actually joined Vox in the middle of the night online, and I picked a name of a woman who I'd just seen her post. I'd never met her. We didn't have a conversation, but I'd seen some of her posts previously. And I didn't know for 18 months that I wasn't in Terry's line. Yeah, my upline is actually Kathy Gage, who I never heard from for 18 months. Even after I hit managing director, no, nothing. So Terry was very fortunate. I knew enough to get on those calls on the Monday night. And because he lives in fairly close proximity, like within 45 minutes of me, the first thing, I'd ordered a mat because he was producing them.
Yep.
And one Friday morning, a knock at my door, it's him in person delivering it. So that was my first introduction. And he sat and had a coffee, and he just was so gracious. And I'm one of those, I get an idea in the middle of the night, well, I'm going for it. And he came to 2 things at my house to support. So I'm very loyal to Terry's side of the team.
Well, and the whole thing about Terry is he is just not going to be denied. Everything's figure outable. And you know what, Terry Randall, it must be in the name because you're exactly like that too.
Yeah.
So I think what we have to do is we have to just get to that headspace and say, oh, if that's not going to be the go right now, I'm going to back up and come at this another way, and take yourself off the speed hook. Just be diligent. You know, I always say you look at nature and it has its own speed. So if you've got a rhythm and a speed, then, you know, go with that. And it doesn't mean you don't like nudge yourself to go a little harder, faster as, you know, things evolve. But to think that I'm emceeing an upcoming event is staggering to me, staggering. And yet I'm embracing it. Thanks, Nancy. Because don't sit on your laurels. How dare you? You have a gift. I don't mean an MC gift per se, but this technology is a gift, and people deserve to have the right of refusal. And if they do, you know what? It'll get to a point where it's undeniable. So now it's a battle within themselves. I have neighbors that way, because when we first started disseminating this tech, people would wear it 5 minutes and say, oh, it doesn't do nothing, you know? And so now Facebook is doing work for me, and they're friends on Facebook. And it's like, Lori, shut your mouth and don't be smug, okay? Because right? It's tempting. But as Jay so eloquently put it one time at Summer in the City, when the prodigals come home, we welcome them. So just be a better, classier version of,
be gracious
of you, and be your best self, and just trust that it is a process, and you're going to go through 10 to get 1. And if you put your best foot forward in terms of ethics and just character, be a good listener, we all know how to make friends if we're friendly people. So just do that. I mean, it's time consuming, you know, but anything worth doing well is worth doing diligently. And there's no secret formula to relationship building. Be nice, you know.
Just be yourself, really. And for me, I found I am much better when there's food involved and it happens around my table.
Yep.
That, for me.
Yeah.
So I could talk Vox all day long in 10 different directions if you're at my table or we're at a table together, but it's over food because that's how I was brought up.
And it's your gift, Terry. It's a gift that you have to share. So what's your gift? Share it.
Yeah. So I am actually quite a bit of an introvert, and I generally don't like to walk into a room. Hi, I'm Terry. Who are you? No, that's not happening. I'm fine if I know some people, and I'm fine once I get talking, but that first in a room of strangers, not my gig. No.
So you found what works for you is the message.
Yeah,
right?
and that's the whole point, right? You have to do what feels most authentic to you. Stop trying to follow the herd.
Yes.
Don't copy just for the sake
Find a
of
way.
Yes.
Find your own way.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna
Nancy, what were you going to say?
So I just have a couple of things. I was gonna share my story too about my first event, which I think you'll find funny because it wasn't really my event. But that's how I got into events. But I just wanted to say something quickly, Terry, because when you had said like nobody had contacted me when we were talking about you being alone, is that something you guys are all doing? Like, do you reach down to the other people all the way down your downline? Because I've sat and pondered, do I do that or not? And sometimes I do. I have a group and I keep encouraging. It's just a chat, and I keep encouraging everybody on my team, add your people here, right? This is where they're going to get information. If you don't have time to give them information, guess what? I'm over here helping you. Let me help you. Let me help you. Let me help you, right? But would you contact people and just be like, hey, I'm in your upline. I just want you to know I'm here to help whenever you need. Even if the person above you isn't there, we're all here together.
Yeah.
Or no?
So when I first came in, I didn't have any partners that lived in Canada, let alone in my immediate area. Everybody that signed up from my first customer who happened to be down in Wisconsin. And so a whole line built really quickly, and I would just like be on it and let's do a webinar and posting challenges and doing this, and we had a page. It would be the same 3 or 4 paid people. Like Jesus Christ, people. You put time and effort to help somebody else and they don't even acknowledge. So the first year, like, it really ate me up about the disconnect or people not acknowledging or not caring enough or anything. So now I follow with the people who want to be followed. I get in touch with the ones, where
That's
you're
a good
getting
point.
something back. You can't always be give. It's a two-way street.
Thank you. I like to hear that.
Yeah,
and I was going to say,
and you got to do what's humanly possible for you too, because one of the things that's been striking me lately is, Lori, be balanced, because when you get unbalanced, and that's what we're all about, is balance, you're unhappy and ineffective. So sometimes, you take the analogy of a farmer spreading seed. Not every one of those seeds is going to take root, but the ones that spring up, he cultivates, looks after, right? So I don't beat myself up for people that I haven't got to, but I'm committed to being diligent, and then I can go to sleep at night and get a good one, So, and if people need attention, it's also the squeaky wheel, and that's an indication of their commitment too, is if they're making some noise.
Yeah.
Right. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Very good point, right? Because if they're not making noise in the first place, then are they really committed, and why are you going to put all that energy in?
Yeah, and it might take 2 or 3 passes, but beyond that, like, give it up. Go to somebody who wants
the help.
This is the message too for the people that are new. If you don't have support,
reach out.
And you want to do this, reach.
I offered to help everybody.
Yeah. But this is what we're talking about, is connecting, right? So connecting, be on these calls right now. If you're brand new, put your video on, say hi to us. Like, be here, connect with us, connect on Wednesday night, connect on Monday night, show up at events, go out of, if the people right around you are not invested in this, that doesn't mean that you have no support and you have to bail. But you have.
It's an opportunity.
It's your opportunity to go get it. Nancy, tell us about your first event.
All right, let me tell you about my first event. So I am the person who told Paul Austin that this was a pyramid scheme, just so we can give you a very good understanding of where I come from, my background. It's a pyramid scheme. Okay, great. So then of course I tried the socks. They changed my life, and I don't care if it's a pyramid scheme. I'm telling everybody, right? So I had to come from not understanding what network marketing was or how to run a network marketing business to learning everything, right? And of course, in the beginning, I didn't have time to learn everything because I was too busy running around saying, "Where are my socks? You know, where are my socks?" So that's all I did for the first little while, not realizing that that was a mistake. I should have been spending the time learning. But anyways, in hindsight, right? So
Yeah.
all of a sudden there's, somebody on my team who was placed on my team actually, and definitely wanted to work the business. And so I said, like, don't worry about the fact that the person they've put you under isn't really working the business. Everyone on my team knows that I'm very compassionate about that, because I have my ins and outs with this business. My body goes down. I can't work. I don't care what anybody says at that point. I have to take care of me, right? So everybody has different things going on in their life. And my thing is, just don't stop telling people about it. So even if you've had a great result and you really thought you were going to run with this business, but now you're just overwhelmed in your life, no problem. You tell your people under me to talk to me, but don't stop telling people about it, right? Remember what it did for you, and don't forget to tell people. So all of a sudden, one day I've been working with this person, and we've been, helping each other back and forth. I've learned so much from her too. And it's Edie Emmons on my team. And all of a sudden she's like, so I booked a hotel. She's in Kingston, by the way. I had that same thing happen, Terry, where my cousin tried the product. It was phenomenal for my entire family. Like, there was huge life-changing things happened when I went out to Kingston. On a whim, she called me and was like, I was thinking maybe we try this for my mom. I said, I never have a day with nothing in my calendar. I'm on my way right now. Drove 4 hours and changed everybody's life in her family basically in one day. And it was insane. So she joined, and then it just snowballed. And there's this whole team out there in Kingston, and I'm just learning how to do this whole leadership thing. So anyways, Edie called. She's like, I booked a hotel room, and I'm wondering if you'll come and support us and come out and talk. And I'm like, absolutely, right? I have the biggest fear of booking one of these events for myself. So I'm putting it out here now so that I can hold myself accountable. I will organize an event in my area within 1 month. Like, I guaranteed I'm doing it, because that is my 2020 goal, is to get it done in the first month of the year. But we have had, I think, 3 or 4 events in Kingston that I've gone to support. And Paul and Kevin have been wonderful and have come out and supported as well. But that's how I did my first event. I learned from her, because, you don't come in with all the skills. And so I thought, this is amazing. Like, she kept saying, I find like when people come in under you, they're looking at you like you're the leader, and you're kind of like, hey, I just got here. Like, I'm just trying to figure this shit out myself, right? So that's where I was.
Me.
And so when she booked it, I thought, oh my God, she has since gone on, because she couldn't find enough vendor events in the area, to creating her own vendor event, a yearly event that she throws. So she's there with Vox, but then she invites vendors and charges and sets up. And I'm like, I'm learning from you, not the other way around, because she's always thanking me. I'm like, I'm thanking you, right? Because you're inspiring me to get that bone inside of me that needs to just jump out of my comfort zone and say, that's it. I'm doing an event in my area, period. Right? Like, I don't know what the fear is, but so that was our first event, and we've had 4 out there, and definitely there's, always a little fun in the mix of trying to get one of these going. Things, technology's fun, and sound systems are fun. Like, we've had that too, where people are like, we can't hear it, and we're like, sorry, that's as loud as it goes, right? Try to put the microphone up. The whole place is like, yeah, wake up. So,
That's what makes it real. And I think then people who are in attendance, if they're thinking about coming on board, when we show our real selves and crap happens and you just laugh through it, it takes the pressure off of them to think, I couldn't do this because I'm not perfect. I don't know how to do that. But they will resonate with your crap.
Yep.
What was the funniest thing about the rap we did on the boat that night, people? Were any of you there for that?
Yes.
Okay, the funniest thing was Paul, who didn't have a flippin' clue. And that's what everybody remembers. So I say that even those screw ups are reference points. And that's where we bonded. That's where we had the most laughs, the most fun. And the early days of anything are the richest, in my estimation.
Sure. And remember that you don't, like Nancy said, you don't need to know it all. Lori and I talk about this a lot offline when we're talking together. It takes a village. Okay? When you have kids and they say it takes a village to raise a kid, it takes a village, period. human nature is people need people.
Yes.
Societies are built because people need people. You're the expert at this, 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 you're the expert at this. You surround yourself with a team of people who do things very well that you don't do very well or that you want to improve on.
Yes.
And that's what I learned for sure with my experience, right? Was that I don't need to do it all. And as a matter of fact, how great is it to be able to empower somebody who's below me, who thinks I'm the leader, where you don't feel like the leader. I feel equal with my people. Like, I just feel like we're all in this together. Let's just do this. And we're utilizing everybody's strengths, right? She has a strength clearly to organize events, right? Like, that's her thing. It's not my thing necessarily, but I can show up and speak, and I can do the work to help you set it up, and I can tear it down, and I can greet people, and I can do every other part. But that one piece of just booking the thing in the first place is where I'm like struggle with that part of just holding on to the like, oh my God, I'm responsible for organizing this, right? That scares me.
And Corns is staying at my house at Terry's request to get my ass to the registration desk on time.
I love it.
And
I love it.
Sort of being Hitlerish about it already.
Hitlerish about it. What time are we supposed to be at the registration desk?
Opening at 8:45.
8:45.
So at the desk at 8:30.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it.
You gotta pack all the paper and get it all organized, right? And you have to be mindful of the weather. You might want to leave tonight.
Terry's already down there, speaking of technical glitches, because he said, like, we got to have everything tickety-boo.
Nice.
God bless his pointed head, hey?
Krista, if you don't mind, I'd like to back things up just a second.
Yeah.
Because in talking about people that want the help and people that reach out and those that are involved, and whether it's on your team or your upline, your downline, not on your team, whatever, I'm going to call her out because she's already put it out there. So I just want to say, Lauren needed help with something. She reached out. I reached back. We started to have a conversation. She was totally game and available to jump on a Zoom call so that I could help talk her through the issue that she was having. And those are the types that they need help, but they take the initiative a little bit too. Mm-hmm. But sometimes it's the quiet ones that secretly want to do it that really need us to reach out to them.
Yep.
But not repeatedly. Yeah. But sometimes they just need that little bit of a hand up. But Lauren, kudos to you for reaching out and figuring out what you needed and where to get the answers. And and being a little new and not knowing exactly where to go, you figured it out. And I was happy to help you. But sometimes as leaders and as building a team goes, we still have to once in a while check in with our people that may be a little lost.
Yeah. And as you grow, it gets harder and harder to do. So, I mean, people will say you got to schedule it, and then you just got to, if you're going hard all day long, you don't need to get sick over it, but you do need to challenge yourself to not kick back, because every little minute of the day is redeemable if you're mindful. And so just be mindful and set intention for the day is a really smart thing that I like to do. And we all know instinctively what our weaknesses are, what our strengths are, and what needs to happen. Like when the grass is growing out there and it looks long, we know we need to either cut it or find somebody to cut it, right? So I like Chris's very basic point about people needing people. And let's not forget, this company is new too. Like in terms of Jay not having a clue about network marketing, I mean, there's a fearless leader getting himself up to speed in short order and failing forward. So if we've got a CEO that's willing to put himself and as much money as he has on the line, not knowing but being willing to learn, and then take that leadership role for all of us, I think we owe him a little bit of an extra effort. And it's only going to benefit us. And complaining as opposed to constructive criticism, let's remember there's two different things. Some people talk, to complain, and hear themselves. They like the attention. If we're empathic, we kind of figure that out quickly. But let's be first honest with ourselves. Are we pulling on the rope? And just going to train on the I love my customer feature. And I'll be the first to admit I want a front row seat because I suck. And so I got to like kick my own arse when it comes to that sort of thing. So again, let's.
I just want to jump in, not because I suck, but because I'm on the path to learning it still.
Thank you.
I got to throw that out.
Finally, I'm not the only one.
You're not alone. I'm way behind and I love my customer.
Yeah.
But okay, what Nancy's point, Lori, is don't calm yourself down.
Up to date.
Yes, but you
I
are not
went
up to date
through
in
my
the
whole inventory, got everything 100% up to date, and then I left with my husband because I had to train Jay last night because he sold something. I said, if you don't put it in that app, you're not allowed to sell anything again. And so he came home and he's like, Terry, this stupid thing doesn't work. I'm clicking on it. And I'm like, I scrolled it over because he's on his phone. And I'm like, you put one there. And he's like, oh, I didn't know it moved over. He was just trying to click on the large black knee-high.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I learned last night. And I said, there's like videos on this. This is how I learned. I didn't have to have someone show me. And I said, and Angela made a great video that she did live showing everybody.
Thank you.
So maybe you should watch it.
Hey, that's
So yes, you need to front seat if you're training on that.
So, Lauren, in a minute, I'm going to ask you to tell us a little bit about you, how you got here, because I'm really happy that you're on this call. So I just want to, in a minute, I'm going to talk for a minute, but I want to ask you to tell us who you are and how you came to Vox, okay? But I just want to go back to the whole connecting. So I know I have realized that people have this impression of who I am. And I've got a very clear vision when we had the Women of Vox retreat. People were like, oh my God, you're so down to earth with this like surprise look. And I was like, who did you think I was? So we're just like regular people, right? Like if
We are regular people, Krista.
Pardon?
We are regular people.
Yeah, we are regular people. If you're new and you see us and you're like, oh, you know, they do this and they do that and they do that, like, we're regular people and we are bringing our own set of tools to this mission. And then we connect, and we connect by, you know, I reached out to Paul and told him I wanted to do some stuff, and just in a conversation on the phone, and you know, within a couple of months, he was like, hey, there's this thing going on. This team is doing an abilities expo and they need one more. Can you jump on? And that's how I met Nancy. Nancy's one of my best friends now. Yeah. But that's how I met her. He was like, it's on Saturday. This was like a Thursday. It's on Saturday. Can you jump in and do the show with these people that you don't know? Yeah, okay, so I'll do it. So I did.
Another amazing part of Vox, right, is that it brings people together in a way that, like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's just crazy.
It's awesome.
The people we meet is unbelievable. And yeah, you're right. We need to encourage more people to not be afraid of, because they see you as a leader because you're posting more, right? Because they don't want to reach out. Oh, you must be way up there. Like, I even had an associate join me and said, I feel like I got right to the top. And I was like, no. Right? But good on you for looking for that kind of stuff, right? That shows you have some experience with this business.
When I first joined, I'm under Paul as well, and I went to an event, and Dr. Sylvia talked at that event. And then I went to go pick up my first order at head office, and Sylvia was there. And I thought, why is the doctor sitting at a reception desk? And she went and got my order, and then she looked at it and said, is this your address? And I said, yeah. And then she said, hello, neighbor. Like, Sylvia Passfield lived across the street from me. And then she offered to pick up my order. So the first person I met was, I went over to Sylvia's house and I met Lori. Lori was at Sylvia's house. And then I thought, oh my God, I just met like Terry St. Amand, like the #1 guy's like sister. And the first time I met Terry, we went out to like a social thing. And I was like, I had him up on a pedestal, like he was this thing. And then I was like, oh my God, this guy's like a normal guy. And so like what Krista said, it's like, exactly. It's like you put these people up like, oh my God, they're untouchable. And then you meet them and they're just, and like, they've all become friends.
Yeah.
And like, as far as like learning off of people, like Krista's my downline. But I mean, I've learned as much or more off of Krista than, you know, I've probably taught Krista, right? Like, so like not having attitude, like I'm the person and you're below me or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I gotta tell you,
And learning from different people, right? Like, I don't just learn from Paul. I've sat with Terry Randall. I've sat with Lori. Like, I've learned you learn off of every single person you meet.
And
like everybody does things differently.
You've taught people a lot, Terry. You teach people about digging deeper than you think you've got it in you. And so I've learned that from you. And I just think, like you said, the beauty of this whole family is that we look to elevate each other, and that makes us unique in the marketplace, I think. But the
100%
was,
and just a little thing about Nancy. When I first met Nancy, same thing. We did a show together. I didn't know Nancy. She messaged me, and she was like, I think it was your first event, that like vendor event you did.
Big
and
one.
You think you did one little small one, you said,
Tiny
but this
one.
is my first big event. And you were like so nervous. I never met you, and I was expecting this shy, quiet little thing. And then we get to this event, and like Nancy and I went on break together, and literally there's a guy with a cane, and Nancy's like, "Oh, you need us," and she brought this guy all the way back to her. I was thinking this girl was like terrified. And here she's got no fear. She'll talk to anybody, and like, you just got to come try this.
That's a great story.
We've been friends ever since, and that was, you know, the very beginning too, the very beginning of Vox when we all first joined, right?
I didn't sleep that night before that event. I literally did not sleep that night. I was scared to death to be working alongside you and Paul, and I forget who else was there. I know Jason was there, but I think there was one other. Wasn't there one other? Ian, maybe? I don't know. I was scared to death. That's all. I just remember being scared to death. I remember thinking, oh my God, like I never did this. I don't know what I'm doing. Like Paul had brought me to a small event. I love that. That was where I really grew my love for events, because it was so intimate and small, and like you had time to talk to people, right? And so I just didn't know how that was going to how that experience was going to translate in this bigger stadium in you know, where was it, the Barry Molson Center or the Bradford Greenhouses or something?
It was in the greenhouse. Remember, we were sweating.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, we died. We almost died.
We were melting.
We had to keep going and finding that big giant human, like 2-3 times the size of a human fan, just to stand in front of it to cool off. But yeah, I guess.
Oh, you're breaking there, Nance. What? Am I frozen or are you guys frozen? What's happening? Interesting.
Moyer, and she is she's so task oriented. She just gets things to happen, and if she doesn't know it, she learns it. And you know, she is very much a naturally born leader, but fun in the process. You know, work doesn't have to be tedious, and we're very blessed to have something in terms of a job that's very gratifying. But Terry's a visionary, because he said early on, the minute we left that tete-a-tete with Jay, he was going to the golf simulator, going to test it for himself, and then he phoned me and he said, I'm getting in, because my ball is 10 to 12 yards further and I'm straight down the middle. So he did it for himself. He found an application for Vox for making his quality of life more enjoyable. And he said, if we don't jump, somebody's going to jump. So let's the hell jump. So, handball. Yep. And I just followed him because I just trusted his instincts. And I liked Jay. I just found Jay really likable, workable. And even though, you know, Jay, like you talk about normal people, Jay's totally normal. I mean, in the sense of relatable.
Yeah.
None of us are normal. Like, who wants to be normal? But
Don't be normal.
yeah. Be unique. Be who you are, and embrace that. And don't try to be somebody else. Just be who you are.
And I was going to say too, one of your questions in the beginning, because you were saying about like when you didn't know anybody and how did you get started? I didn't know anybody either. I just found a post of Paul's online. I was suffering huge at the time, like no quality of life. And I started just by first asking him questions. And then of course he introduced me to testimonials, Team Vaccination, right? And then that's when he put out a feeler. Hey, would you like to come to this small event with me? It's only supposed to be 50 people. It'll be a good way for you to see what it's like. And I was like, okay, why not? Right? Like I was just so in a great bubble with Vox when I started that like I was open to everything because my belief was instantaneous. When you change somebody's life in 6 days, instant. You can't shake my belief. I don't care what nobody shakes me, right? Like you can look me in the face. Like I have people tell me, oh, what, your box isn't helping? I'm like, imagine I wasn't wearing it. Like I don't survive without it, period. Right? Yeah. You can say whatever you want. You cannot shake my belief on this. So that helps, right? Building your belief, having that strong, solid thing helps you to go out and take these chances. But that's what I did. I started with a little show, and then he invited me to an opportunity event in Mississauga. And it was the one, I don't know if you remember a few years back where you guys did this like training circuit.
Yeah.
And so Sylvia Passfield was at one, Paul Austin taught social media. I think Kevin Dugay did like the demo station. And so I came to that. And then that was really like, wow, this is powerful, right? And then and it's just slowly just taking my chance, jumping out and doing the different things that people were saying to do. I was watching you guys online and just, what are they doing? What are they saying? What are they, believing that is the best way to do these things?
I had a hard time understanding when people said, oh, someone said no to me and it destroyed me. And I thought, the same way, it was so life-changing to me and I so believe in it and I so know what it does that someone says no and it's like, well, you're lost, you're an idiot. But I like, it doesn't get me down. Like
not an idiot though. Not an idiot though. They just need time to come to it. This is where I'm like, I'll just plant a seed and we'll talk. And I literally say in my head,
it doesn't get me down at all. I don't care how skeptical you are or anything. Like I know this works. I can help you. If you're not ready to listen, well, whatever. Like as Terry says, bless and release, right? Like I don't fight with someone. It's like whatever. I know what I have, and you're not willing to listen. And I have people in my family.
Terry-Lynn talks a lot about how much she's learned from me, but let me tell you, when I first came here, when I first texted her and said, "What's the deal with this stuff?" She answered, I wanted to talk by text because I was like not getting swooped into any MLM mindset. So I was like, I don't want to talk to you on the phone. I don't want you to tell me how my life is going to change I just want the facts, right? But I am new to something. I want the facts. So I was texting her. I want the facts. And she was giving me the facts. She was answering every question. Bam, 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 bam. And then I was like, okay. So then she put me in the testimonials. And then I was like, clearly it works for people, obviously. And then I decided to join her when it helped me. And, she talks a lot about how much I help her, but in those first months, constantly I was like this, that, text. And she was always there with the answer. And she said to me, I didn't know anything. I learned everything by going through everything in the back office. And I copied that behavior. And that's how I got here. So yes, we reciprocate, but it is a reciprocal relationship. Mm-hmm. Right? Yep. She gave me a lot in the beginning to set me on my course. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't, now we more of a learning relationship, but she did set me off in the beginning and the way I wanted. She didn't insist that we do it any particular way, she let me do it the way I wanted, but get the information the way I
Because
wanted.
I didn't probably know a particular way back then because I was so goddamn new that.
And you know,
Krista was really good. Krista's a lot like me though. Like when I got my stuff, like I remember being at one of the training things very early on, and Terry held up the book and said, "Who's read this?" And like I was one of the only people that raised my hand. And Terry said, "If you spent $500,000 on a brick and mortar, do you think that you would read a manual that taught you how to do your business?" And of course you would, right? So I mean, it was the same thing. And Krista was a lot the same way. Like I read everything. I went in, like I looked at all the videos. Like that's just the way I am. And like, sure, I asked Paul lots of questions too, but they were like, couldn't find the answer to. And Krista was the same way, right? Like she came to me with questions that were like, they were good questions. It wasn't like, oh my God, Krista, like that's right there in the first thing that you should have read, right? Like, so, and those people, you know, are like, they're invested in it. They're willing to do it, because I've had people that they ask you everything. And it's like I've had people that ask a question that I'm like, were you not on the call last night? Because this was all covered. Right. So, I mean, she did the same thing as I did. I'm on most calls. Like obviously we missed the odd one, but I'm on almost all the calls, and I've been doing this for 3 years. And some of the stuff is stuff I know, but I'm still there. Like, how do I expect a team to work if I don't work? Right. So
if you can't be on the call because of life, then just make sure you get the recordings, because there's information there, and you're being as much accommodated as you can. Now, Ange brought up a really good point before the call. I know we want to get to Lauren. I just want to say that one of the challenges that Ange personally has had is the fact that different locations have different cultures. So we are very blessed to have a concentrated group of people that we can reach out to and that sort of thing. But I think we have to make some sort of acknowledgement of the fact that we have Janie Dunning and Sue Marcotte out in Victoria. And I did specifically speak to Jay about those girls, and they want to get going. They want to get some traction. They do have a bit of a challenge out there. So I don't know tangibly what to say to them other than what we've said. But if there's any of us that can give those people in those isolated locations, I call them the frontier locations, a little bit of a leg up, then like I'm sort of committed to doing that. I have a bestie in Chilliwack, and I'd like to get out to see her. Well, if I can combine that, you know, and make it a business trip as well, somehow, some way, I got to get my butt on the ferry and over to the island. And it might be small. I don't have any expectations around attendance. What I'm doing is making that trip twofold. You know, it's going to be, I'm going to get to see my beautiful good friend from Ontario, and I'm going to say to her, get some people in a room for me, and we'll just have a fireside chat, as Krista and Paul so effectively do on Wednesday nights. And, but like, let's put our thinking caps on for these people who are really, you know, on the frontier, so to speak, that we can help them when they don't have as accessible the VoxxLife influencers, and we can Zoom people in, and that's all very true. But as we will find out tomorrow, and we have over the last few years, there's nothing like getting a VoxxLife hug, right? So, yeah.
So true.
And you know, we're comparing notes right now about things that we remember from past experiences. We need to build in those frontier people past life experiences. And kudos to Brenna, because she's off for those ladies out there. So whatever you can think of, girls, like that would, you know, maybe you know somebody who knows somebody, or maybe you can just have a chat with them, or maybe like how I started was I had a friend who had a group of ladies Bible study. Hey, can I go there and show these people something? And I had, you know, I stayed for the class and I benefited from the class too. So, you know, and then I went to a group of ladies who were raising their grandkids and, you know, got to know them a little bit. And what it did for me is I didn't blow it up with sales, although I did sell. I got practice. At, you know, putting this out there. My belief was through the roof, but I wasn't polished. And so I went to kind of a safer place and talked to ladies. And so, you know, if you know somebody who has any kind of an involvement with Lions Club or this, it's the warm market and the referral marketing, I think, that will get things going. Because Terry said back in the day, this is a spark right now, but it's going to be a grass fire.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what? In the beginning,
Paul said that to me too when I started.
I used to drag my friends around and my family. Like they weren't interested in signing up with Vox. And I was like, that's fine. You don't have to sign up with Vox, but you are my friends and my family, and I'm going to do this stuff, and you are coming with me because I need people to see that I have a team around me.
Good job. Yep.
They did. Remember my friend Erin came, Nancy, and worked at the People in Motion show. She was like, okay. I'm like, I need another teammate, and I don't have anybody ready to go yet. Get in here with me. And she did.
So, warm market, and Carol was my friend and liaison to those people as well. So it doesn't necessarily have to be anybody special. It's like, who do you know that knows someone that can let me talk? Period.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, I want to get to Lauren because our time's almost up. And I want to know, Lauren, unmute yourself. Can you unmute yourself? If not, I can probably unmute you.
Hello.
Lauren, hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you for coming on this call.
Hi, Lauren.
Listen
Hi.
to us all blah, blah, blah.
No worries. It's good, interesting stuff. I've just been taking a little few notes here.
Cool. So whereabouts are you?
I'm in Burlington, so not too.
Oh, so am I.
Lynn's in Burlington too.
I'm in
Oh,
Burlington
nice.
too.
Oh, good. I'm up in the Head and Forest area.
I'm off of Guelph Line.
Okay. Yeah, I'm near Guelph Line, but up north Dundas area.
Yeah, I'm down by the Burlington Mall.
Oh, okay. Okay. So close to my mom. Yeah, I actually signed up with Evelyn Horlacher.
Love her.
Oh, I love Evelyn.
Yeah, she's super sweet, super nice lady and kind of quirky, funny lady. So really enjoyed her energy. Actually met her while I was photocopying documents for a job I was applying for at Staples.
Nice.
So she was there and I kind of like looked at it and I just saw a bunch of colorful socks and I was like, oh, I love colorful socks. So I just kind of went over to her and I was like, oh, what's this stuff? And so she went in and she says, oh, do you have time for a demo? And I'm like, okay. So she did the demo on me and I was like, okay, yeah, I guess that's neat. Okay. I wasn't too like convinced. She stuck a patch on me and didn't really have much effect on me, but I did something just when I was listening to it. I'm in nursing. So I was like, okay, this makes sense. I feel like this is going to help my mom. It was kind of my goal in this. And so I told her and she goes, yeah, actually I walked by it earlier today and was interested in it. Can you get me the brochure? And I was like, okay. So did. And my mom's like, yeah, I think I want to get some of this. And I was like, okay, if my mom is on board, then there's got to be something in it. Cause I've, done other products. I did Shosai Healthy Chocolate for years with lots of great benefits there. But just the business end of it just wasn't, I don't know, it was so expensive. It was so hard to get people to believe me, even though I was walking proof that it worked, but,
right.
I was just like, and my mom just never bought any of it. She was just like, no, it'll interact with my meds or it'll, just very much. So when she said socks, I was like, okay, there's something, I'm going to try them too. So I tried them at first, bought a couple pairs from Evelyn, and after wearing them 24/7, that's when I felt the relief. My feet stopped hurting. I stopped having shooting pains in my legs. My dizziness went away. I have vertigo. Wow. Yeah. So I was like, okay, that is super cool. So just knowing that, I had a lot less, I still get vertigo on occasion, but it only lasts about a second or two. And it's, if I'm, doing one of these, I don't want to do that because I'm standing, but yeah, so it was a great help. And then what sold me to signing up into the business was when my husband was at home and he had like severe gout pain. He's a big, like tough guy. Like he doesn't complain about pain. And he was like bent over, like with this red face. And he's like, oh my God, this hurt. A new pair of socks come in and I was like, you know what, this isn't your size, but let's like squish this on your foot. And he's like, no. And I was like, no, seriously, let's squish it on your foot. So I rammed it on his foot and within seconds, I kid you not, he was up walking and he's like, what's in this sock? He's like, seriously, what's in this sock? And I was like, I don't know. It's like voodoo. I don't know. And I called them voodoo socks. I literally like tapped his forehead and was like, praise the Lord, you've been healed. Like, I was like, so yeah. And then that was like the point I phoned Evelyn and I was like, I'm in, just sign me up. I can't start yet, but just sign me up. I'm like, I don't know. This is just too good. So I only bought the membership. I didn't buy anything. And I kind of have been still tinkering about the practitioner's license. So just kind of going back and forth and just kind of getting into it just now.
Yeah.
So this is like maybe the second call I've been on.
That's good. We're glad you're here.
Yeah. So, and you know, like I say, being in them in the past, I know the importance of being on calls and when they are.
Yeah.
I'm just still trying to navigate everything from starting because I sold a bunch of socks to some other one over to her after this call.
Oh, great.
Like, I gave them all away and I only kept one for myself anymore. I'm like, why would you give them all away? But anyway, so, but yeah, so I kind of started kind of just accidentally almost because I ran into somebody, told them the story. She wanted a bunch of socks and her friend wanted a bunch of socks. And so it kind of just started from there. So I really haven't done much more than that, but looking forward to, you know, learning how to do maybe the parties and things like that. And maybe hold my own.
Sounds like you're off to a very good start. Like
Yes, definitely. Hey, Lauren, I was going to say about giving away in the beginning when I first got my socks, because they made like, well, it's 6 days was my full result, but day one was like amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I kept taking my socks off and giving them away. Like I would wash them and give them away and then have to try to figure out how to get more socks because I'd be dying, right? But I was like, I couldn't even hold on. I was so excited about what was happening. I couldn't even hold on to my own socks, right? I just kept washing them like, here, you have to try these until I get some more. And then it was crazy. I love this company.
Yeah.
I love you guys too. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I have to go though. I'm going to say bye. Okay.
Okay, love you.
Bye, guys.
Nice to see you soon.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
See you.
Lauren, are you coming tomorrow?
I'm at registration desk tomorrow.
What time are we supposed to arrive to sign in?
Sign in is 9.
Only 5 to 9:30. Right, Ange?
Yeah, 9.
Oh, I thought it started at 9:30, so I thought maybe earlier.
I would say
to-
8:45 to 9:15 is really registrations because we want to like get it going so it starts on time. Because if the weather turns, we want to be done, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah.
Okay, I will try to be there at my earliest because I like to sit at the front. So
Awesome. So
Good.
stay
The
low,
weather is
please.
not turning tomorrow. I leave at 6:15 Sunday morning for Mexico, and nothing is stopping my
That's
plane.
right. Spring, here we come for the weekend.
Beautiful.
The cold is going to be
in.
gone by Sunday morning. It
I
has
think it's just going to be rain. You know, I think it's going to be probably a lot of rain, but I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to be great. It's going
don't
to
care about rain. Rain won't stop the plane.
That's right.
I think that we should pack a toothbrush, put a sleeping bag and a pillow in your car, and if it turns shitty and we're still inside that big meeting room, we just turn it to a pajama party.
Okay, I'm in.
I'm
They're
in.
not gonna kick us out?
I'm in.
What are they going to do if we don't leave? We don't leave.
Yeah, if it's dangerous, yeah. We'll hold a sit-in.
I'm seriously going to bring my sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Me too. I feel like I need to go grab a bottle of wine now too, just in
Yeah,
case.
I'm also going to bring a bottle of wine just in case. I have some right there. I'm going to pack it tonight. The hilarious thing is, for people that don't know, I live like a maximum 40-minute drive from the venue, but I don't care if there's an excuse, I'll stay.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Awesome about finance,
Bye.
power of connection, but I didn't even think about it from the angle of connecting from within as well. And
Oh, that's what I mean, connecting within. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so think about this power summit, okay? Like, this caused such a commotion. I was like, whoa, with the people that came to us, like came to me, like, message, ding, 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 ding. My phone was going crazy. New Year's Eve, my phone's like, ding, 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 ding. Not Happy New Year. I got my ticket. This question, that question, this question. I'm like sitting there with my drink going, oh my God. Okay, what?
What have I started?
What have I started? Exactly. Okay, so but understand this. I have a lot of skill when it comes to marketing. Yes, that is true. I have a lot of communication experience. That is also true. But what happened was Laura Armstrong, Kevin Duguay, and I got together and said, we want to do something to rock it in Toronto. We want to stir things up in Toronto, where we live. We want to shake the trees here. So we sat down. We've been planning for months. Who's going to come? Who's going to speak? Who are we going to invite? What do we want them to talk about? What do we want people to get out of this day? And how many people do we want there? How many people do we want on the stage? All of these things came into account. And then we have 10 people speaking that day. 10. And then I marketed that event like some would say a crazy person to the networks of those 10 people. Not to my network only, to the networks of 10 people. Plus the team pages, right? So it's not the Krista show. Everybody in there has some influence. And it's not all leaders. Just so you know, they're all leaders. The people that are doing it are all leaders in their own right, but they don't have a title.
Yep.
There was no qualification of title for the speakers in this event. It was, what do they bring to the table that will add value to the people that are sitting in the seats?
Most important part.
Yep. And people don't know people till they know them, right? So I might know that Mia Saddington has lots to offer, or, you know, the girls out west. I love Candy Scott, like so many wonderful people but not everybody knows them too. So it's going to be beautiful and refreshing when people take the stage and more people connect within the ranks.
Yes.
Awesome.
And what I want people to see is that you don't have to have 500 or 1,000 people under you to have something valuable to say to the group.
Yep. Yeah.
So you can start where you are.
Yep.
This is my whole point of this event. From my perspective, what I want people to get from it is I want them to look at the people on the stage and go, I could do that.
Yes.
And then do it.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, so we were like, bang, 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 like made the list so fast of the people, because we were like, we want this topic, this person to speak on it. We want this topic, we want this person to speak on it. We knew very fast. It was very fast to fill the list. But let me tell you, since we made the list to the time that I started the whole campaign process of selling the tickets, I was like, I have 3 more lists. Like I could do 3 more events, right? Like I could set them up right now and do them, of speakers that have, Mia being one of them, of people that have really valuable things to say.
Yes.
So like this is not a one-off thing for me. This is something that I am pretty passionate about, in case you didn't notice. So like look for more, but understand that start where you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Start where you are. And
start now.
People. Start.
Yes. You know, you can make a big bang with a small whisper.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't always have to be big flashy lights and
And
the big show.
I know our time is up and people need to go, but I just want to make this other point about money and events. So I was adamant that I don't have money to lose on this event. So it was planned to not lose money.
Yeah, you have to.
Specifically planned. So could we have gone and booked a hotel space for 5 times the price? Yep, we definitely could have. And maybe there's a good chance, based on the response that I've got, there's a good chance that we could have sold another 200 tickets. But I am not in a position, nor do Laura and Kevin want to go into a position where they were going to potentially be on the hook for an expensive event. So we were like, let's start where we are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's cap it out at something that we can afford and see what happens.
It was brilliant. It was a really cool new concept. And I think it's hugely necessary from a lot of different angles. And it's just refreshing to see people use their gifts to put together something that benefits everybody. It's fantastic. Grateful to you, Krista, and love the vision, love the concept, and really essentially love the commitment to put it together, because people will say, what's going on? It's really fun to say it's Krista's deal, it's Laura's deal, it's Kevy's deal. So awesome. It's exactly what we've wanted to have happen. And Jay has been whinging about Toronto forever. So just kudos, and I'm really excited. And I love to hear that you've got more planned. Good on you, Mike.
Yeah. And the point of that being that I didn't do it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Connect.
Yeah.
You can build faster if you connect internally with the people that are already here. Okay.
I know I've had a ton of stuff on the last few months, but the next time that you do one, I'll talk about the power of networking groups.
Nice.
So you can add me to your list.
Nice. Very cool. Awesome.
Volunteers. I love it.
Nice. Okay. I love you all. It's about that time. So thank you for being here.
Oh, that was a good call.
Yeah, it was fun, right? And Lauren, I'm so glad you joined us. Thank you. Say hi tomorrow, please. I'm going to be probably only half a coffee in by the time I see you. So make sure you shake.
Yeah, enjoy Glasgow. Show your face next time. We have no makeup rules.
Maybe at work. Maybe they're
people are at work. Yeah,
the camera on, right?
Driving and stuff. But
Lauren,
if you can totally show up your
Evelyn's not there.
Pardon?
I said, Lauren, I'm just down the street from you, so if Evelyn's not available, I'm always here. You can call me to ask questions too.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, my friends, always a pleasure. We'll see you, most of you tomorrow, and the rest of you will see you 2 Fridays from now. All right?
Thanks, Krista. Lots of love.
Lots of love to all of you.
2 Fridays for the next call. Yeah. Okay. Bye, ladies. Love you all.
See you tomorrow.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Bye.